As you pointed out, Amanda, for only our second limited format, so you're going to see a lot of Pokemon in this Grand Finals that you don't typically see. No Azumarill, no Umbreons, no Bastiodons, but we've got Milotic to go around. I cannot wait to get into this set here because our trainers have taken their breath. They are ready for game number 1.
And here we go, hopping right into it. We see that Shadow Beedrill on that side of Colin 6 up against the Seeking of Patoman. Normally with Seeking players like to go up to the Mega Horn, but it's not even needed in this first matchup because Beedrill does not want to take this Icy Wind, which is going to automatically lower the attack.
Beedrill not known for its bulk, going to use that first Protect Shield early on in this battle. We've seen Colin 2-shield his Beedrill in the past because he does rely on that Pokemon to deal tons of fast and charge attack pressure. Instant no shield for Patoman. He is not fearing the Fell Stinger.
Fell Stinger goes through. It's going to boost the attack of the Beedrill, and now Patoman comes in with his own, forcing a swap now from Colin 6. Colin 6 is using Licky here, and Body Slam paces quite quickly, but Patoman is going for its heavy-hitting X-Scissor first. No Protect Shield by Colin's side.
Now, Licky is running Rollout. It's going to deal a lot of super effective damage over time, but Beedrill's energy advantage helps it to equalize this matchup quite a bit. Body Slam coming through. This might not quite be enough, but Patoman does not want to let his Beedrill get too low.
Beedrill is one of the Pokemon that is a bit more frail and is on both of their teams, so they both recognize shields usually have to go towards this. And as you can see that now, Patoman has double shielded his Beedrill, but this also means he's just getting a ton of fast attack energy and can potentially farm down this Licky Tongue to come out with even more.
Massive Bug Bite down for Patoman. He is ready to go into this next matchup. Dunsparce comes out. Colin has relied on his 2 rollout users time and time again this tournament. Great timing by Patoman as well to fire up the 5 Bug Bites and then the X-Scissor. Do we see the final shield here?
Going ahead and just letting that go through. Colin still has a shield on his side. Wants to possibly do a roll out down, but not before another parting gift goes through. Does Colin want to use his shield, or is he recognizing that the Dunsparce is going to be so valuable? Yes, he does. He's going to get that down.
Great value for Patoman and his Shadow Beedrill, but in comes Colin. Don't forget, he's got a Beedrill of his own. Good timing as well to fire off the X-Scissor here. Milotic is the last hope here for Patoman, his healthiest Pokemon remaining, and this is going to deal a massive chunk.
It's going to deal a massive chunk, but even still, Patoman is just going to charge up energy here. We're going to see an aggressive farm down, but look how low of health this Milotic has. There's only the Dunsparce left going for the attack at the same time. That's a wrap.
Charge attack priority goes to the Milotic. This is going to deal some neutral damage to the Dunsparce, but most importantly, it will drop down its defense. Dunsparce locked in with a drill run of its own. The question now becomes, can Patoman's final Pokemon wrap up this game?
Only Dunsparce remains on the side of Colin 6. Its defenses are dropped. In comes the Seeking to just start doing a little bit of damage, and it looks like Colin is already going to fall before he's even able to throw an attack. Game 1 going to Patoman.
No catch needed. Patoman Seeking wins battle number 1 for him, putting him up 1-0 in this Grand Finals. I want to remind everybody as well, this is going to be a best of 5.
Since Dragon Tail is going to be super effective against the Dragon, however, the Dragon Breaths from the Kingdra aren't going to be super effective against the Milotic. It's no surprise that we're seeing Patoman bring it. Not only does it have that nice bit of bulk to it, it just paces so quickly to an attack. We're hopping right into game number 2 of the Grand Finals here. We got Shadow Beedrill again on Colin's side, up against the Spiritomb, an immediate pivot out by Patoman into a Seeking.
Decisive swap. Seeking is now up energy, trying to make a catch there, I believe, on the Icy Wind. Colin maximizes his Beedrill's energy, sends out that Licky, that damage sponge that we've come to know it as this weekend.
And now it's going to be even more of a sponge, taking just a little bit longer because, as you can see, the attack has fallen, so nothing that it throws is going to be doing as much damage as when it first came in. Patoman actually already opting for another, and this is a Meghorn. This is heavy hitting damage, and Colin does not put up a Protect Shield.
Licky deep into the red, but it does have the Earthquake. If this connects, it'll likely KO the Seeking, so big shield decision here for Patoman after a tough lead, and he does protect the Seeking. Great call.
Patoman recognizes how powerful a Seeking is going to be, and you want to talk about a little bit of worse for the wear there. Patoman catching on Hikami earlier on to secure his place in the Grand Finals, now catching that Body Slam, a not very effective move on his Spiritomb.
Double resisted, in fact, and the Sucker Punch came into Licky means that Beedrill is free to come back in. Looks like it's going to see a Fell Stinger fired off here. This X-Scissor would likely KO the Spiritomb, but Patoman shields anyway. This is just going to boost the Bug Bite for Colin even further.
Look at this here. Colin's able to get another attack off. Also, as a reminder, Patoman doesn't have any shields up. He protected up 2 Pokemon while Colin still has 2 on his side.
Wow, that was a really nice charge tech party tie there for Patoman because I fear he would have been bug bitten down if he waited any longer. Shield coming up from Colin though, that's really interesting.
Going ahead now, immediate pivot back into that Seeking, already unleashing the Icy Wind. This Dunsparce hasn't even done anything, and now it's going to have an attack fall.
Well, Seeking's going to try to slow the Dunsparce down, but the switch timer is still frozen cold for Patoman. He cannot get out of this matchup, and the drill run here is inevitable.
Going ahead, letting that go through. Colin 6 trying to get off as much damage as possible. He still does have a little bit of health on the B-Drill in the back to swap to clear the debuff, but as of now, no matter what he throws, it's going to be doing a little less damage than it would have before.
We see Colin reaching almost for the double up on the drill runs. Both trainers anticipating that switch timer and swap, building maximum energy. One shield remaining here for Colin. He's going to use it on the Dunsparce, but I don't know. This Milotic is bearing down on this matchup.
The defenses have dropped. The attack is lowered. The charge attack is thrown. This drill run will connect with this very, very healthy Milotic. Colin has to play very carefully at this moment, immediately pivoting out into the B-Drill just to try to clear the buff, but I fear it may be a little too late.
Yeah, we do not have monitors back here at the moment, but I will say it looked like we did have a big KO there, and the Milotic is positioned really well to try and take down the rest of this Dunsparce. Aquatail number 1 connects, and we are back.
Going ahead now, Aquatail number 2 to finish out the game here. Patoman has not lost a single game yet today.
Patoman taking the 2-0 over Colin, as you said, dispatching Hikami 3-0. He was waiting for this matchup, and he is making the most of his moment. I mean, the trick is that you can only throw crunches into the water types, right? You do not want to throw Aquatail no matter what, so the catch potential is there. Let's get right into it, everybody. This is game number 3. Here comes Colin, here comes Pato.
There was a Dunsparce in the lead here, an immediate pivot into that drop in now that we were just talking about. Colin was so dangerous with this in day 1 and day number 2. It doesn't surprise me to see it here, and there's a last-second shield by Patoman, correctly shielding up a crunch, which would have done just a ton of damage, and you hear that little sound? That means that defense is thrown on that Spiritomb.
Spiritomb can gain an edge in this matchup if it calls the Aquatail bait, but luckily for Patoman, he shields the correct charge attack. In comes the Milotic. This is that familiar double water team that we have seen over and over from this trainer, and the crunch will get fired off here. If he gets another debuff here, Amanda, this will be a huge setup play.
This is going to be big moments, but overall, even though it didn't get one, look at this, how much damage is already done, and this is already that an attack has been debuffed from this Drapion. Drapion with the shadow damage, she says 20% more, hits a little bit heavier, and that's why it's always opted for here in our Great League format.
Milotic deep into the red now, gonna fire off the Aquatail. This will likely be enough to KO the Shadow Drapion and finally silence that menacing Pokemon. But actually the pivot on 1 HP into the Dunsparce.
Keep an eye on that later. We could see Colin using it for a catch or a potential swap to clear a debuff. Meanwhile, talking about debuffs, another one coming through here as this wrap puts the defenses down on the Dunsparce, and now we're back where we started. Dunsparce up against Spiritomb, but this time there's some energy to boot. No Protect Shield as this drill run goes through.
Drill run connecting into the Spiritomb. Obviously, a second one would be enough to KO at this range. 1 protection remaining for each trainer, and here comes another drill run from the Dunsparce. Spiritomb has been so good for Patoman, he's going to shield it up here.
Going ahead, forcing that, because if you're looking at how much energy the Spiritomb has had, it's basically at its attacks now, but he doesn't want to throw right away because he knows that Dunsparce is low on energy, basically at 100, and a catch by Colin. Remember when we said to keep an eye on the Drapion? That's exactly what it's used for. Masterclass by the final boss.
Absolutely absurd because he went up 6 sucker punches through on alignment, and Colin saw right through the facade. Now he's got his own Spiritomb looking for the sucker punch down, but can't quite get it. This could be a Shadow Ball. The threat is there. Does Colin call this Rock Tomb?
This is a big moment. Colin has 1 shield, and he no-shields a Rock Tomb. Yes, it does damage. Yes, the attack does fall, but at the same time, it doesn't get near the knockout that Patoman was hoping for, or the shield.
Absolutely unbelievable composure here from Colin, calling the Rock Tomb, firing off the Shadow Ball here. He is building his way back into this series.
Shadow Ball heavy hitting damage there up against this Seeking looking to find a victory for his master there. Now, getting that last shield, this Icy Wind is going to debuff, so the Spiritomb is double debuff. No problem at all, says Colin. Let me swap out for this drill run.
Wombo combo. Dunsparce comes in, delivers a ground-type hard-hitting drill run to KO the Seeking. There's only 2 Pokemon left, but they've got barely any HP. Dunsparce with the rollouts is able to pick up the KO. There's one Pokemon left.
Rolling through here. Spiritomb is able to take out. It's still so close. Spiritomb on Colin's side has more energy, and Colin takes game number 3.
Wow, you wanted a series, and Colin delivers. Incredible composure in the mid-game, calling baits.
You see him already giving a nod. He knows what he wants to do to be able to continue on, to be able to become our new European International Champion.
A little twist of the head, a crack of the neck, and we're right into it. We've got Kingdra in the lead for Colin, facing off against the Spiritomb.
This is a risky play, and we did see it from Colin earlier on in the winners finals as well. Kingdra coming in when there's a Milotic on the other side is a little bit risky, but talk about catches here. Great timing, swapping in that Dunsparce to catch the Rock Tomb.
Yeah, mechanically, these trainers are outstanding. The one-turn Dragon Breath, the swap, getting the 3-turn rollout on the swap is absolutely incredible because it allows this Dunsparce to now be ahead of the Spiritomb. Here comes Drill Run.
Drill Run coming through. It is debuffed. No Protect Shield on Patoman's side, and Spiritomb will be able to take this first one. The next one will knock out, as we've seen, but look how much energy the Spiritomb is just going to continue to build up, and now we actually see a catch of his own from Patoman's. This is a Drill Run. Surprisingly, this is one of the only Pokemon that we have in this limited meta that doesn't change the stats when it's throwing a charge attack.
Well, I gotta say, for Colin, he's gotta be really relieved to see the Milotic here. He brought Kingdra in this battle, and he actually brings it back into the Milotic matchup. I thought Kingdra would want to avoid this at all costs, but here it is.
Trying to catch an Aqua Tail, maybe, but you're absolutely right. This wrap is going to lower the defenses, and it's going to be able to just take a little bit more, but Colin is already at an outrage. Most people would think that this would be the big moment.
And, it sounds like the Swift was fired off there. We're going to see Colin and his Kingdra trying to face off, but I don't think it has much HP left. That sounds like another charge attack coming through. Milotic with the Aqua Tail.
Huge call there. Aqua Tail going through. It's not very effective, but it is enough to take out the Kingdra here. Milotic just putting in the work. Aqua Tail again coming through onto this Spiritomb.
Yeah, exactly right. This is actually going to draw that first Protect Shield from the Spiritomb, though, trying to keep it healthy in the matchup. In comes the Sea King now, but this Pokemon can swap out and clear debuff. It's going to fire for Rock Tomb of its own.
Spiritomb there getting that last Protect Shield from Patoman's side. Seeking has just come in, wants to get as much energy as possible here, and wants to use that Protect Shield to be able to do so. Just continuing to fire off here, get a lot of energy, going for the Mega Horn. This is a heavy hitting attack. Colin only has one Protect Shield. Does he want to use it? Yes, he does. This is a correct moment here. This would have been heavy damage.
It absolutely would have been. Sea King versus Spiritomb, both 2-turn fast attacks, but the Rock Tomb from the Spiritomb is going to get fired off here. I think this will likely command his shield, but let's see what Patoman decides to do.
Going ahead, using that last shield here in this game. Patoman still has 2 low health Pokemon in the back. Colin goes for a combination play, but at the same point here, he gets that catch, and that's going to knock out the Dunsparce. Great play by Colin.
That's a lot of energy down the drain. He really wanted the Mega Horn for the Spiritomb, but he's not going to get it. Patoman, though, has some energy in reserve. Shadow Ball will connect. This is the final Pokemon for Colin, and Patoman is going to reset this bracket.
Colin tried everything he could. He played very well, but Patoman said, okay, that game was good for you. Go ahead, let me take the series. This is a big moment for both of these trainers, and it is really cool that they are both coming from this European region here. We're going to kick off the grand final reset. We have that Kingdra coming back. Colin taking some risk up against that Shadow Beedrill of the side of Patoman.
When we see the Shadow Beedrill in the lead, we expect shields to be allocated towards it. This is just a Swift, but Shadow Beedrill needs resources to stay in the series. Patoman allowing the Swift to connect means that he's comfortable reaching this X-Scissor and will likely switch out afterwards, but will Colin respect this charge stack?
Colin 6 still has 2 Protect Shields. The game has just begun. He lets it go through this X-Scissor, knocks out that Kingdra there, and we might see Patoman aggressively swap because remember, no one wants to farm down, no one wants to give energy. Spiritomb comes in, meet the Seeking as Patoman swaps it out, and he's going to be able to reach that Icy Wind first, but he's going to have to go for that heavy hitting Mega Horn. The real question is, does Colin know? If Colin calls this incorrect, it could have been detrimental.
I was going to say he just lost the Kingdra. Losing the Spiritomb now would be a crippling blow. Instead, he does protect it with the Protect Shield there from the Mega Horn. Going for the Rock Tomb now, trying to respond to the Sea King. This will likely knock out, but Patoman wants one more shot.
Look at this energy on the Seeking. Definitely a good shield there by Patoman, and the Switch Timer is not up yet, so just charging up a little bit more, waiting, and now throwing the Icy Wind. This is one of those attacks, again, guaranteed debuff, but since it was Mega Horn Energy, it gets that other Protect Shield from the side of Colin.
Yeah, talk about maximizing utility. That was a genius level play. Pataman now bringing in his Spiritomb versus the Dunsparce. And I gotta say, Colin is on the back foot here. He might be sliding into a loss unless he can turn this around.
Pataman is playing on his toes. He's responding very, very quickly. And if you're down one Pokemon like Colin is, it could be hard, but Dunsparce is a little bit ahead overall in energy. No protections remaining. This is going to hurt.
Yeah, Rock Tomb is going to start to cripple the Dunsparce, lowering that attack, making those drill runs more and more ineffective. Here comes another one, though. This is going to chip down the Dunsparce. I think the goal for Colin is to get back to that switch timer.
It's difficult, right, though? I mean, with a Spiritomb into a Spiritomb, you don't want to swap yours in when the other one has energy because a Shadow Ball would knock out. But Colin already has it loaded. Colin says, watch this. You want to go ahead and do this for me? Why don't I just knock out that Spiritomb?
I mean, alley-oop from Dunsparce to Spiritomb, that was nothing but net. Out comes the Beedrill, the Sucker Punches are adding up, and I mean, this Spiritomb is going to suck the air out of the room. Seeking can't do anything about it. Game one, Colin.
You can hear it. Can you hear it in the crowd? We hear Colin, Colin. People are here. Normally, if you're playing Shadow Beedrill, you're using your Protect Shields on that Pokemon.
Well, speaking of Shadow Beedrill, we're going to see that in the
is.
lead from Colin, but this time it's going to pair off against the Seaking. As we talked about a couple times already, the Peck Seaking is going to deal some super effective 2-turn fast attack damage, and the Icy Wind will always command a shield, right?
And also talking about that Shadow Beedrill, if we take a peek at that backline there, it is on the team of Pataman as well, and there's that double rollout user I was talking about in the back for Colin 6, so there could be some really nice alignment for Colin, but we have to see how this would play out. Going for a Fell Stinger bait, no Protect Shield used by Pataman.
Yeah, no Protect Shield there, but I like the point that you made. The rollouts from the double normal type Pokemon are going to apply a lot of pressure, and Colin has usually been running an ABA rollout strategy, so for him to actually run ABB here might catch Pataman off guard. Beedrill now in the field for Pataman against the Licky Licky.
That's what we talked about here. Now that they're up against each other, first Protect Shield used as that Body Slam went through, so the Beedrill is still in the green. Getting a Protect Shield back in kind as the X-Scissor will not be able to connect with Licky Licky, even though this is a bulky Pokemon. Colin wants to try to keep it as healthy as possible to try to do maximum damage to this Beedrill.
Yeah, Body Slam going to get fired off here. It's going to be really close. Pataman trusts in his Bug and Poison type Pokemon, and it does hang on through the rollouts. Great timing to get as many Bug Bites as possible before firing the X-Scissor.
Look at the sliver of health on that Beedrill there. X-Scissor connects, knocks out that Licky Licky. Huge play by Pataman there. No Protect Shields by Colin 6.
1 HP on the Beedrill, but it did so much work while it was on the field. Now we have the Shadow Beedrill from Colin back to the field. This is the target, right? I'm so glad you mentioned Beedrill. It's probably the best answer these trainers have to the Spiritomb outside of their own Shadow Draft.
What a bait here by Colin. Now getting the Protect Shield off of Pataman's side as the Spiritomb doesn't want to connect. And now coming in with the Dunsparce here. Spiritomb, like you talked about, it takes a little bit longer to pace through to get to this energy.
Correct.
But with no Protect Shields remaining and now coming in and being able to just use this Rock Tomb to lower the attack of the Dunsparce, it still puts Pataman in a decent position.
Do we see a swap here into the Seaking to absorb a charge attack from the Dunsparce? Not yet. Instead, I think Pataman's going to stay in here, absorb the drill run from the normal type Dunsparce. This won't quite KO the Spiritomb, but it takes it down to the red.
Yeah, Spiritomb already at another Rock Tomb, however. This is when it really starts to come down to the wire, and you have to see how Colin is going to respond. This is enough to knock out the Dunsparce. No, it just barely hangs on, and is able to throw off the drill run. Huge, huge. Just like the Beedrill earlier onto the Licky Licky, now the Dunsparce responds in kind to the Spiritomb.
Massive impact. Surviving on just 1 HP to go for charge attack is huge, but it sadly will not be enough. Colin doesn't have any energy, and Pataman Seaking claims game number 2.
Wow, huge plays by both of these opponents. They're going back and forth throughout these matches. That's why we see him so many times up on this big stage. And Colin 6 is no stranger either. He is wanting to take this next game. It's tied up 1-1. We got the Beedrill up against the Spiritomb. Immediate swap out by Pataman to that Seaking.
Colin running back the same trio that he played just a game ago. This time trying to make it work. He did get a good lead with the Spiritomb. The instant swap by Pokémon sends out the Sea King, but the call on the Fell Stinger. Pokémon is starting to build his way back into this game.
Going ahead, even though the attack is now boosted as Fell Stinger does this, it's going to drop right back down as the Icy Wind goes through from this Sea King. Not only that, does get the shield because Beedrill does not want to take that attack, but look at it. The Sea King's already getting down quite low, and Colin will come out with a ton of energy. Pokémon Sea King is out of the picture.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely devoured by the bug bite pressure. Beedrill is down a shield here and low on HP, but it's got tons of energy. In comes the Spiritomb, firing the X-Scissor. I think this is a safe shield for Pato because I doubt the Beedrill gets to another charge attack.
And Num Num Num, yes, he's just going ahead and getting that first shield. That is a big call. Good job there for Pokémon. But like you said, very predictable. Now swapping into the Dunsparce into that Spiritomb. Spiritomb is ahead on energy, but Colin immediately throwing this Drill Run. I love this play because that means this Drill Run is going to connect with its full amount rather than getting that Rock Tomb first and then lowering down the attack.
You're exactly right. You want your full strength charge attacks wherever you can get them, especially in this EUIC limited meta. Maybe trying to make a catch there, going to Milotic. This has been a safety blanket for Pokémon, and it comes in to face off against the Dunsparce.
Drill Run coming through here. Pokémon has one Protect Shield, and it looks like he's not going to bother using it at this moment. We've seen Milotic just be able to continue to ramp up energy, and that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going for an Aqua Tail spam here. Two of them are loaded. First one going through.
Exactly. We're going to get a couple of charge attacks back and forth, kind of dink and dunk style damage, but the swap into Colin's Licky Licky will distribute that damage a bit more and keep his Dunsparce around.
As we're calling this the damage sponge, the Aqua Tail does barely any damage to it. Licky Licky sticking his tongue out essentially at Milotic, saying, okay, yeah, I can handle that, you silly, silly thing. Now going for the wrap here, this will lower the defenses of that Licky Licky, sort of taking away a little bit of that bulk, but Colin hasn't thrown yet. He's just continuing to go ahead and build up some energy. Now throwing a body slam, but he doesn't even get to it in time. This is like worse for the wearer. This is salt in the wounds. This is an attack lowered on a non-efficient Pokemon.
Yeah, but the 1 HP survival ensures the body slam, but keep in mind, everybody, this is going to be double resisted. Does Pokémon call it? No!
Oh!
A rare misplay, shielding a body slam, and the pivot now into Dunsparce. Colin sees the window, and he's jumping right through it.
Huge, huge opportunity for Colin here, being able to get that off, get the shield, and the Drill Run connects now with that Spiritomb. In comes the Milotic, but there's already another Drill Run loaded for Colin 6. Both of these trainers are nodding their heads, recognizing that this game is done and dusted.
Don't leave the door cracked open because Colin will kick it in. That is a 2-1 lead for the final boss.
And also what we call a 3-ball flex because Colin had a little bit of health left on all of his Pokemon. He says, okay, no, it wasn't a bad team composition. Yeah. It wasn't that he outplayed, I just maybe outplayed myself.
Well, it's not enough to play perfectly. You have to play perfectly in the perfect moment, and this might be Colin's moment right here. We're going to get Licky Licky into Dunsparce to start off game number 4.
And it looks like Dunsparce and Licky Licky, both of them charging up a lot of extra energy here, going for that heavy-hitting Earthquake against Dunsparce. No Protect Shield used on the side of Pokémon. Pokémon also has a lot of energy on that Dunsparce and immediately pivoting out now into the Spiritomb to be met by the Drapion. Drapion is one of Spiritomb's harder counters in this meta, but I tell you what, if there's shields in play, and if you shield a bait like this has happened, this could be a huge turning point. This could be a momentum shifter for Colin 6.
Yeah, I can feel the momentum swinging to the left side of your screen as Colin pulls off the perfect bait with the Aqua Tail, shields up the Rock Tomb, but guess what? Shadow Drapion is going to pace circles around this Spiritomb. It's going to have 2 crunches before Spiritomb's even ready for 1 Rock Tomb.
Not only that, the crunches just do so much damage to the Spiritomb. Yes, it is debuffed. You're going to see that it's not going to be enough to knock out, but it's going to knock it down into the red. Oh, barely not, I guess because of the attack debuff.
Exactly, but it's really close. Another Rock Tomb coming off here. The question becomes, will Colin double invest? And he does. He doubles down on his Dark Poison Shadow Drapion.
Shadow Drapion did so much for him in the earlier matchups. He's bringing it back for this game, and now coming back into the Dunsparce to clear that debuff, now met by the Milotic on the side of Pokémon. But this Dunsparce is up energy.
absolutely up massively. Drill run number 1 from the Dunsparce will connect into the Milotic. Colin relying on those double normal type Pokemon, and it might be the key here in game number 4, Wrap from the Milotic.
As a reminder, Colin 6 used both of his Protect Shields in that Spiritomb Drapion matchup, so there's nothing here to protect him as this Wrap connects. The defense has fallen, but he's going to do everything he can to maximize the potential of this Dunsparce. Drill run number 2 coming through.
Another drill run, and I gotta say, this game 4 is a slow burn, but it's gonna end in fireworks. Milotic has the charge attack ready, gonna go for the charge attack priority, but the swap into Licky Licky. Colin just keeps moving the pieces around.
You even see them waiting. You see both of these trainers waiting. Patoman didn't want this catch, and yet it still happened. Now swapping back in, though. Great play by Patoman. Very quick adjustment here, throwing this Rock Tomb, which is going to lower the attack of the Licky Licky and also get it quite low.
Yeah, exactly. You want to get as much value as you can from Pokemon like Spiritomb and the Sucker Punches, plus the Rock Tomb, taking the Licky Licky so low, 1 HP.
Wow, Colin is able to throw a Body Slam or an Earth but going for the Body Slam right away as that Milotic goes through here. No Protect Shield used by Patoman. Dragon Tail also went through.
This is Patoman's last hope. He's got 1 Pokemon left. Out comes the Dunsparce, but it's got energy for days as the Body Slam connects.
Huge play here for Colin being able to get this through. Yes, if you remember at the very beginning, that Dunsparce just came out with a ton of energy. The big problem for Colin is he doesn't have shields.
Exactly, but the Crunch is loaded. He did save energy for a rainy day, and that's perfect for the city of London. Crunch will pull the final shield away from Patoman.
But Patoman also saved that shield for that same rainy day. This is a charge attack priority, meaning the Pokemon with the higher attack could throw first, but that still means that this drill run will connect. This will knock out the Drapion, and this one is also charge attack priority.
Charge attack priority goes to Patoman. Everyone hold your breath. Is this drill run enough to tie up the series? It's not! Colin is going to strike back.
Colin's Dunsparce hangs on by a sliver. Patoman has his fingers crossed. If this knocks out, Colin takes the series. It does not! Striving on sliver of HP, and down goes Collins!
Blow for blow, back and forth. It's not over. Tied up. We're going to game 5.
You could not ask for a closer matchup there. No one knew what was going to happen.
It all comes down to this. I saw good luck from Patoman to Colin. We are locked in, everybody. Game 5, EUIC 2026, Shadow Drapion versus Seaking.
Shadow Drapion now going to be able to pace just a little bit quicker, and we'll have to see if he wants to throw it right away. I think that's the right call by Colin. Also gets that Protect Shield on the side of Patoman because the Crunch would do a nice amount of damage to the Seaking.
Definitely. Seaking does have that Mega Horn utility, which would deal massive damage to the Shadow Drapion. And when your nerves are this high, it would be very easy to shield here as Colin. Will he call the Icy Wind bait? No. Uses the first Protect Shield of the match.
It's a little bit risky to not use the Protect Shield, but at the same point, your attack is going to be lowered. And now, catching here on the Dunsparce, this is still that heavy-hitting attack, so it's going to do mega amounts of damage to the Dunsparce in return. But still, having all of that energy saved on the Drapion is a very, very big play for Colin.
It's going to take 12 turns for the Dunsparce to have the drill run ready, so Patoman stays in the matchup, swapping into the Milotic, but if you'll notice, he did not get the Dragon Tail through on the switch, which he would have preferred. Drill run's going to connect. It's going to deal some chip damage, and our switch timers are heavily displaced.
And at this point here, you have to keep track not only of your own energy, not only of your own switch timer, but how much energy your opponent has. So Patoman has to recognize how much that Drapion had before it swapped out, and the same for Colin, recognizing how much the Seaking has, because this will be very important in that late game. Meanwhile, you still have to pay exact attention of what's going on right now as another Aqua Tail goes through. Colin has 1 Protect Shield left, and he doesn't want to use it on this low health Dunsparce. This Aqua Tail is enough to connect and knock out the Dunsparce.
Just barely enough. Milotic has another Aqua Tail ready to go, but Shadow Drapion firing on the charge attack priority, like you called out, Amanda. Remembering your opponent's energy is so critical, especially mid and late game. Drapion returns the favor and knocks out the Milotic.
I mean, I think if you're Patoman, you're really happy that Drapion came back in, because if you take a peek at the backline, the Spiritomb is there, and Spiritomb doesn't want to take those crunches. Colin uses both of his Protect Shields on Icy Winds from the Seaking on the Drapion, immediately pivoting out now to the Spiritomb up against the Seaking, and Seaking is able to reach the Mega Horn. No protect shields remaining. This is heavy hitting damage.
This might be the play that changes this entire battle. Mega Horn connects, Spear Tomb comes in, Pato Man looks like in a commanding position, but does he call a Shadow Ball? Yes.
This was big. Unlike Colin said, where there was no protect shields, he had to take it all. Pato takes negligible damage from that Shadow Ball. He's going to be able to just start charging up energy, but this Dropion has so much.
The combination play, will an Aqua Tail plus a Crunch be enough for Colin? This is his chance. He fires off the charge attack. Pato Man looks out at the crowd. He thinks he's got it too. Rock Tomb, charge attack priority. Pato Man is gonna win.
You see Pato Man grinning. You see Pato Man swiping. You see Pato Man winning for the second year in a row.
Back-to-back EUIC champion, Pato Man claims the title in London. Nobody's ever done it like the Spanish prodigy.
He went from second place at Worlds, he went to second place at LAIC, and he came back to take the crown in Europe. Pato Man, the Spanish sensation. You see everyone in the crowd going wild.
Let's give it up for your 2026 EUIC champion, Pato Man.